Hi, everybody.
Hi there.
How are you?
Hope you guys are having a great week. It's already Thursday, June
I don't know.
18th. Tomorrow's the 19th already. Can you believe it? I can't believe it's already past the middle of June.
Well, so tonight, I think our words to say what this is about tonight has got a lot to do with what's been going on for the last 2 or 3 weeks. We have struggled very hard to not want to get into these types of discussions because it's not the things that we want to talk about. We mostly want to just talk about Jesus, his love, and your marriage. We think it makes a big difference with Jesus in your life and how you do things. But tonight we're going to talk about a couple things because there's a lot of things going on with the new issues of COVID-19. We are now back on lockdown to some level. The city of Scottsdale and some of the cities have decided that we have to all wear masks if we're out in public. And I know for some of you that's really difficult. But more than that, I think everybody in some sense feels that what's going on and how it's being handled by the media is politically charged. Kimberly and my position is not to promote one thing one way or the other. We are Christians. Jesus was asked by the Pharisee, "So, Jesus, do we give taxes to Rome?" And Jesus answered, "Give unto Caesar that which is Caesar's." The hard part about this is what is Caesar's? Well, I think politics is part of what is Caesar's. How things are controlled, how our lives are dealt with on a daily basis, because we have to deal and vote and do these things that in America we have the right to do. We are very blessed by that. Vote your conscience, vote what you believe, and do the research so you know why you're voting for what you believe. That's what Kimberly and I believe. Our opinion on President Trump or the Democrats or the Republicans is not relevant to what we're here for. What we're here for is to have you understand who Jesus is. And Jesus says, "Fear not, for I am with you." Kimberly has made a post earlier today where it was about don't be afraid.
Like faith over fear.
Faith over fear.
There's a lot of doom and gloom, and sometimes the media just puts that out there. And I understand that COVID-19 and what's going on with the spiking and
It's
everything
very
is
serious.
very serious. I'm not saying it's not. I never said it wasn't. And I know people are just very scared and upset. And, there was a lot of questions asked, like, are you scared? No, I'm not scared. I don't have fear in my life anymore because I have a relationship with Christ.
Well, we worry about our finances, and we worry about...
We worry.
Yeah, we worry about our kids
little.
and how they're going to grow up and what kind of world they're going to grow up in. I think we all do. And all of those things come from what we want the best for our kids. We want the best for our lives. And are we afraid sometimes of things going on in our lives? Absolutely. But we're trying to help promote you guys to understand that you don't have to be afraid of this world and what it can bring. Because this world is full of some very nasty things, but it's also full of some very wonderful things. Wonderful people who want to be there for you, support you, and love you. We want to love each other. We want to love everybody around us. But this country is being torn apart.
We're being divided.
We're being divided in so many different ways, and it makes no sense that all of a sudden, why is this all of a sudden an issue? When COVID-19 first came out in the beginning, everybody was supporting each other. They're standing back and loving each other.
We're all in this together.
We're all in this together, and that phrase was driving me nuts. But aside from that, we were starting to open up and help each other and support each other. Now all of a sudden, something else went wrong. A man was killed, and it brought on a complete idea that has not been handled in this country for a very long time. A lot of people have turned their minds and their hearts away from this idea of discrimination. And it comes from both sides. There are people who are discriminating against me. I have thoughts that are not right at times, but I feel that I love everyone regardless of who they are, because when a guy steals from me, I still help that person and I love them. When people do different things that cause issues for me in my life, I don't care what color they are. I had a pastor friend of mine who finally got caught up in everything that was going on, and he made some beautiful statements, and he is a pastor, and he's a black pastor, and he grew up in Georgia, and he had a lot of things going on in his mind. And I just listened to him carry on about how he was talking about the history and these things that are going on and how the discrimination is still so strong and it shouldn't be. And it's all so true. But he kept saying, he said something a few times in there, and it didn't strike me at the time when he was done with his conversation, which was about 18 minutes long.
He put on a video, like a live video.
Right. And it was just amazing the things he said. It taught me things about history that I didn't quite understand. Maybe it was 30 minutes. It was a long time. But he said things a few times that didn't strike me at the moment. But a couple days later, it just hit me. And I called him and I go, do you realize that in your upset, which justifiably so, there's reasons to be upset about things in our lives that God says.
Because we get angry and it's okay.
Right. He said, if you don't agree with me on these issues, unfriend me. And that thought for me was, what hit me was, he's a pastor. He represents Jesus, as Kimberly and I try to represent Jesus, as imperfect as we are. We try to represent him.
We're imperfect. That's what he was trying to say.
And the whole idea of being a Christian is that, we aspire to be like Jesus. And I just asked him, I said, would Jesus ever say unfriend me?
Never.
And he just paused and he went, wow. And even the people with the greatest and best intentions get caught up in their stuff. They get caught up in their lives and they say the wrong thing at the wrong moment, not realizing they actually are saying something that's probably not what Jesus would represent. Right. And we all do it.
And we all have our opinions on different subjects and everything. And guess what? We live in a free country and we should have freedom of speech. And we should respect each other for our differences in opinion and not be, don't do things out of hate and that kind of thing. And that's what we're seeing. We're seeing a lot of this going on in social media. We're seeing, people saying, unfriend me. People unfriending people. And blocking them. And here's the thing.
Only because, but wait a minute, I want to just finish your thought. At least where I thought you were going was with blocking them because their opinion isn't in agreement with them. So all of a sudden, because they don't agree, now they can no longer be friends. And it can only be one subject. Every other subject in their lives, they used to drink a beer together, they used to hang out, they go fishing, they go boating, they go skiing, and they do all these wonderful things. They have all these amazing memories. And because they had a moment of disagreement, now unfriend me, get rid of me, I can't take this anymore, I've got to go. There's these things that are going on that we just have to understand that are going to happen in this world. That's what the devil wants. Right. And he's in the midst of a lot of things right now, causing a lot of issues. And all we can do is talk to Jesus, talk to God, get in the Word, and get the strength that you need to not allow these things. When someone says something that makes you angry, it's okay. It's okay
to have anger, but don't sin out of anger and don't, you should stop and instead of commenting, like there's a lot of posts that my friends make that I don't agree with and I just scroll through. I don't make a comment or anything.
Or like, and you don't have to like everything.
I understand. We all have different beliefs and understanding and opinions and it's okay. But we have to be kind. Jesus says to love your neighbor. I mean, we are to love everyone, no matter what.
And your neighbor isn't your Christian brother particularly. It's just your neighbor.
Or somebody who has the same beliefs as you.
Right.
I mean,
everybody's your neighbor.
Christ proclaimed unity. And right now in our country, we're seeing so much division. And it makes me so sad. And we just need to pray right now. We need to pray for our country and we need to respect
other people's opinions
or who God put into office, regardless of who it is, Republican, Democrat, whatever.
And not only that, Jesus said, whatever the rules are that are made by man, if they don't conflict with the Bible and who I am and who you are to be as a follower of me, you are to keep those commandments and those rules. And I don't know how many of you understand this, but it's a hard one sometimes. They even said, hey, Paul wrote to the slaves, honor your slave owner. Don't disrespect him. He has been put in a position over you for a purpose. Who knows what the purpose is? A slave owner is a completely different thing. Or the children, you have to respect, honor your parents. You are supposed to, if you hate the king, or if you hate the ruler or governor in your state, or whatever that is that's going on, you are still to honor them because God put them in that position for a purpose.
Right.
And most people don't understand that. But we don't have to agree with it.
We don't have to agree.
Yeah.
But we shouldn't hate.
Right.
Hate isn't the answer. Love is the answer. And that's what we need to start doing more of, is loving each other and not just jumping when we see something that we don't like and then we assume that it's something that somebody agrees with. And you know what? There's a lot of division going on, especially right now. So
what do we choose?
What do we choose?
Division
Love
or help?
Yeah.
Do we go out there and assist? Do we have to express our opinions to somebody because they don't agree with us? If they're willing to listen.
But we do it in love.
But if they don't want to listen, you don't have to make them listen either.
Right.
You know, there's nothing wrong with that. They have their opinion, you have your opinion, move on. And most of you, are listening to this right now going, yeah. But unfortunately, there are some people who still are in the midst of a lot of turmoil right now with everything that's going on.
And it's really scary out there. I understand. It's crazy. I mean, I have fear over what the future holds, but I put it in God's hands and I have to trust in that. And that just gives me peace. Mm-hmm. So, I know that's hard to do, but I have my bad days. Believe me. I'm not over here, joyous all the time.
Love. Right. It doesn't work that way.
It doesn't work that way, but I'm in the Word and I'm drawing strength from Jesus and not from the media.
And we want you to have that. What you spend your time on. One of the things we want to talk about too was screen time and media. There is so much stuff out there right now that is so negative. Where you spend your time is where your heart is going to go. I was listening to a pastor the other day and he said, so why don't you take a day and see where you're spending your time, and then take the next day and see where, and write down really literally where you are spending your time. What are you doing? What are you watching? All of it, put it together, videos, whatever it is, what kind of videos, write it all down and do that for a week. And then go back and see where you're spending your time. And you might find out something about yourself, like maybe you're a little depressed because some of the stuff you're watching is affecting you.
Very depressing.
And maybe you're a little uptight because of some of the stuff you're watching. Maybe some of the stuff that you can change are those very things that you don't realize are affecting you. I know they affect me, and I've cut out a lot of it, and it's hard because I love the TV. And Rachel too. Rachel
Braxton and Rachel
both
are
get mad
both,
at me.
and they're both like they're on their stuff too.
But
and
that's
we're
not the
on
point
our
I wanna make,
phones
Boo-Boo.
too, and we're on our phones.
Right. What I was going to make was that I watch war movies and bang them up, crash them, shooting up and all that stuff. It makes them nuts. And I get it. And so I don't watch it anywhere near as much as I used to because it's true. I probably shouldn't be watching that as a Christian. There are certain choices that I make and choose to do that I probably shouldn't do to really keep my heart focused and strong.
And it does, if you think about it, when you watch that stuff or you're on that stuff all the time, it does sear your conscience.
It can, absolutely.
Like you start to get a little numb to things.
So the media and the politics, which can also make you numb to things, and then the Christian, how we all come together is this. What's in the Word is what you should go by. If there are things that you're doing, things that you're watching, and or you want to be a Christian, or you just want to be a kind person, the Bible still has a lot of ways of helping you even just to be a kind person.
And then we said this last week, get off the radio. Listen to 90.3 or 89.1.
Christian music is how it helps.
Worship, I'm telling you, it will fill your mind with love and peace and hope. And we just hope you guys just hang in there and love on each other, love each other like Christ calls us to do, and stay healthy and well and take care of yourselves.
We look forward to seeing you next week, and our idea is to have a much better positive reinforcement next week to bring you up. This was hopefully didn't bring you down, but hopefully gave you some insight to things that we're seeing in the world that's I think we're all a little frustrated with at this point.
Absolutely.
We love you guys. Have a great week.
Take care. God bless.